it's V. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello and nice to meet you. I am an artist and a musician, all under my company Subtle Smile. And if you're interested in viewing my work, please click the main website link in the description box below. My social media will also be listed in the description box, so if you're interested in social media, please follow me there. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will really help my videos go out there for the people who need it. Thank you so much for viewing, and I hope you enjoy this video. My nose is so itchy. Allergy season. Yeah, so this video is actually a two-parter, and the first half of the video will be for the collectors of art, and the second half of the video is geared toward my fellow artists, but as a collector, I believe you should view this as well. If you're both, like me, welcome. So I kind of came on here because a lot of people have asked me kind of how I started and where I started collecting art, and sorry for the plane. So I kind of just wanted to share a few tips on how to start collecting art. Everyone will start differently, and this is just for people that, you know, might need a little more guidance into where to start. First off, just a disclaimer, if you buy art and start collecting art, you are an art collector. It doesn't matter how cheap the art is, it doesn't matter how expensive the art is, and if you do collect, you know, just local community art or, you know, easily affordable art, it's still art collecting, and we all start somewhere. I started doing that as well. I would just support my local community, and I still support my local community, but now I've upgraded to being able to afford and collect a lot of globally renowned art. So we all start somewhere. Don't worry about it. My first tip into starting to collect art is to collect within the local community. Whether you have friends who are artists, if you have family who are artists, if you don't know any personal artists, just go to your local art shows and kind of art festivals and support local artists and artisans there. When you start dipping your toe into your local communities and, you know, art that's also more affordable, you'll be able to start getting a sense of what art you like, what art you don't like, what you're willing to invest in. And while you support your local artists, you'll also understand, just by exposing yourself to what's going around in your community, what's going on in your community, and ways that you could probably help artists out or help donate to something, or etc., etc. I'd always say start local. There's no reason to, you know, suddenly go out and buy a Basquiat piece, even if you have like millions of dollars. If you don't know anything about art, there's no reason to start so big. I'd say start small, and then once you start getting a feel for what you'd like to invest in and the type of artists you'd like to invest in, whether it be artists who do art for the sake of art and make pretty paintings, or people who have a deeper message in their art, or, you know, trying to bring awareness to something in their art, or trying to raise money for a specific cause. No matter what the reason is, when you start investing in art, you always have to invest in art you like, that you like personally. And I think that's where people get very lost is, oh, well, you know, this is a Murakami piece, so it's going to be worth a lot in the future and I should buy this. Well, maybe, but most people who collect art only collect art that they like. So if, you know, he's not your favorite artist, or you prefer, you know, older works of art, maybe by like Salvador Dali, and you have the money to afford that, it's better to invest in that. And it also doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter how expensive one art is over the other art piece. It only matters if you like it or not. So whether you support a local artist for $10 versus buying a high-end piece for like $1,000 or $10,000, if you like this one more than you like this one, it is always better to invest in the one that you like. That's where people are like, oh, well, you know, this artist is a bigger name and this will be something something. Well, yeah, maybe, but you first and foremost have to ask yourself, am I willing to keep this piece for a long time or for the rest of my life? Because as much as a lot of people might take a lot of goods from famous artists, like t-shirts or whatever, and buy them to resell them, that's actually frowned upon in the art community. And if you do that with a legit art piece, you're most likely going to be blacklisted or never sold to again. So when you want to really take this hobby and really collect art and really appreciate the art for what it is, you really have to be ready to invest, like I said, a little or a lot. It doesn't matter what it is, but you have to be invested in such a hobby and invested in not only the artwork but the artists themselves, and educate yourself in the different kinds of artists and the different styles and the different techniques, and kind of educate yourself as to why this person might be globally respected versus this person who might be globally known but not respected, like that. Always invest in art that you like, first and foremost. And if you're really looking to start collecting, start in your local community. It really helps you out, it really helps the community out, it really helps the artists out, and from there on build your collection. But you'll also be able to hit that next tier once you start understanding what it's like. For those of you who do collect art, please comment down below how you started collecting art and share your first memorable piece or your first big purchase or anything like that. I would love to hear everybody's stories, and I will be sure to share my first huge piece in the next video. So this next half is for my artists, but collectors should listen as well. Speaking of respecting the artists that you buy from, brings me to a side thing. Like, no matter if you spend $10 on a piece of art or $100 on a piece of art or $1,000 on a piece of art, make sure to treat all your art the same. It doesn't matter how cheap or expensive something is. If you're gonna frame one, you should frame them all and protect them all, and, you know, properly respect all your pieces of art. I think me as a professional artist, all my art is kind of just like all over my table sometimes. But usually when I buy art, they're all respected and they're all sitting happy on my wall. If they're not on the wall, they're framed. So they're all protected. Yeah, just for that little blurb. Sorry about that. So getting on to my message to my fellow artists, I just want to share a little story and kind of tell all my artists out there to be careful of who you sell your art to. Some people have ulterior motives, and it's not worth it. It's not worth even getting the money or getting the anything. And if you're, don't ignore the signs. Just don't ignore the signs. I knew the signs and I sold to this person anyway, and I mean, it's heart-wrenching. Also, for those of you who are still watching who are collectors, I hope you know how much, if you do something like this, it affects the artist. Damn, I'm really upset. So anyway, story time. I sold a piece of art that I really love, and this person was a friend, so I didn't mind selling to this person. Um, so this person was a friend, and I didn't mind selling to this person, but he, he would compliment me a lot, and he had never said anything. He had only said once that, like, he there was no anything to it, right? He just wanted to compliment me. And that's fine. um I'm so upset. And that's fine. I just, he's a very sweet person, and I'm just so mad as I'm telling the story. Anyway, he buys this painting, and I send him this painting, and he suddenly thinks it's a good idea to finally just kind of confess his feelings to me, which is fine. I respect that. I respect anybody who does that. It is scary to do. um, but I wasn't interested. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't give you what you're looking for. He said, that's all right. And I thought everything was all right. But I guess it wasn't. I don't know. My package, my painting, was delivered twice to this person's house, and they never received it because they had to sign for it, so I guess they weren't home. And they just texted me out of the blue saying, hey, well, I missed the package again, but I'm not interested anymore. I hope it goes back to your house safely. And I never understood that kind of attitude. I just, like, it really, number one, it's a huge pet peeve of mine. Don't bring personal things to my business. I mean, I become livid. I become so angry. Like, my blood boils when that happens. I just, like, why would you do that? Personally, for me, I'm not sure if it's because I'm a professional artist, or even before I became a professional artist, whether it be a painting or a drawing or music or performances or anything like that. I've never supported the artist for the sole purpose of getting a friend or dating somebody or to impress them or whatever it might be. Like, I've never, oh, I'm so mad. I've never had that intention. And I just, I'm so heartbroken that now one of my favorite paintings that I created, that I put a lot of love into, and I thought was going to a loving home, is now somewhere lost in the mail. And I haven't lost hope yet, because sometimes it just takes forever for the package to be returned to sender, and that's okay. Like, I'll let it take its time. As long as it's coming back to me, I will let it take its time. I'm not shitting on this person either, by the way. Like, I'm not I'm not angry. I don't have any ill will towards this person. I just hope my art gets back to me safely. But I think it's also a lesson. Like, I saw all the signs that this might happen, and I ignored it because I thought this person also genuinely just wanted to support me, and of course, that's just never the case. For my collectors who are still watching, if you have a crush on somebody and you're trying to impress them, don't go through their business. If you want to support their work as well, like, that's fine. If you can support their work and your feelings don't have anything to do with that, then that's great. Anybody can, anybody and everybody can use your support, so that's fine. But if you're doing it for the sole purpose of trying to get a date with this person or whatever, you're probably just going to make them even angrier, and it doesn't look good. And if you're really serious about collecting art, don't get blacklisted for something stupid like this. And especially if it's your friend, and you will end up not talking to them anymore. It's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I saw all the signs and I ignored them. And just because I thought better of this person. I just want my fellow artists out there to be careful of who they sell their artwork to, especially if this is art that you're creating that you love. Like, if you're willing to do it for that shit, then that's fine. But if you're not, protect your work, protect your integrity, protect your professionalism. So, a lot of people, will do whatever they can to kind of get ahead, or do whatever they can to get to know you personally. Or, I mean, it's just not worth it. If people want to come and they're, willing to just support your work and there's no hidden motive, then I'd say that's the kind of people that you want. But yeah, I think just from the lesson that I've learned, I just wanted to tell my fellow artists out there that if you really care about your work and you really care about where it goes, make sure to be careful of the people who are trying to not just purchase your work, but take away your time as well. Make sure you find your group or your community that you feel well supported in, and that you know your work will go far and your integrity will go far. Like, sometimes it's not enough just to sell. You have to have faith that your work will speak for itself. If you're not getting to where you want to go, work on yourself a little more, work on your work a little more. But if your work speaks for itself, you will get to the community that you want to. So yeah, that's just a little story time and a little PSA for my artists out there and collectors. Like I said, it doesn't matter how much you spend on a piece. If you buy art, you should be respecting all of your art that you purchase. And I just hope that it gives everybody out there, whether you're a collector or an artist, a little insight on how the community works and how the artists feel about their own work, and who they hope and wish their work will go to and bless for the rest of their life. So I just wanted to come on here and share a little bit of my story and some tips on how you can collect art, and tell my artists out there to be careful. If you watched up until the end, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.